Fast forward to trade the pool. I get on, and 15 accounts later, people, 15 accounts, a full year,
Yeah.
and a lot of learning lessons.
Okay.
A lot of learning.
You mentioned 15 accounts. Maybe new guys that just heard you saying 15, it sounds like a lot. But at the end of the day,
Yeah.
when you look at it, 15 accounts are still much less capital or less expenses, less fee that you put in compared to what you would done with a broker account. Welcome everybody to another funded trader of TradeThePool. Today, Ron is with me, a new funded trader of the $200,000 buying power, the Flex account. Thanks for coming, Ron.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me, Michael.
For sure. Ron, let's start from the beginning. Tell us a little bit about your background in trading and the way you got yourself into this financial markets.
Oh, man. Well, I've been in the markets since 1995. So I got in right around the dot-com bubble as a stockbroker trainee. And I've always had my toe in the markets. The recession hit, just to fast forward a lot of things that happened in my life. So a recession hit. I stayed out of the markets for a long time, but I've always looked at it. I've always had my gut, my heart's always been watching trading. Just to fast forward, was out of work for about 10 years, finally got employed, and I was thinking about retirement. What am I going to do? And I started to, I started to look at day trading opportunities. And when I was doing it, I did it in 2003. We had to come up with $5,000 to get $100,000 buying power. That was fine by me. So I didn't have that. So I couldn't do anything. When I started to look around and then seeing the capital was so much less to get in, well, then it made sense to me. I had the capital, I had the reserves. In 2003, I didn't do well, but I was doing okay, but I needed the time. I needed a year, 2 years, and I didn't see that then. I approached it as a stockbroker instead of a trader. So fast forward to trade the pool, I get on, and 15 accounts later, people, 15 accounts, a full year,
Yeah.
and a lot of learning lessons.
Okay.
A lot of learning.
And that's for sure. And that's the beauty of it. We're always learning, always getting improved. And you mentioned 15 accounts. Maybe new guys that just heard you saying 15, it sounds like a lot. But at the end of the day,
Yeah.
when you look at it, 15 accounts are still much less capital or less expenses, less fee that you put in compared to what you would done with a broker account, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely. When I say in trading, when I tell even people who aren't traders or have looked at the market, this is an opportunity to generate your lifestyle in a sense of not billionaire going out buying Lamborghinis, but if you can replace your income that you currently do and spend your time, then why not do it this way? I could spend 4 hours in my day where I would have had to spend 3 days of a week giving it up to an employer. I'll work for myself. And it's wrapping your brain around that and not looking at trying to get the big balloon on grasp. I think for me, my experience of having 25 years, I thought it would take me maybe 3 months. It's like, I'll be able to do this. And every time I lost, I was like, what's going on? I'm not seeing something's happening. But I stayed convicted. You helped. That oatmeal story, I'll tell them about that.
You like that?
Oh, I love that. That helped a lot.
I mean, it's always like that in life. Whenever you look at trading, like perspective within a perspective of life, you will always see those stories or stuff that you do on a regular basis that is a replicate to trading. That you can
Yeah.
replicate that.
And it helped because when my first funded account, I was so green that I was excited. It was a year, and I held on to that excitement like a young kid going to school for the first time. That I lost in that week after getting funded, and I didn't let go. I jumped right back in, like no, no. And I looked back at your email of the oatmeal story, and that's what happened. I lost sight of how to make the oatmeal. And once I did that, when I got funded again, which was within a week, I never lost sight of the oatmeal making. And then the prep for 2026, well, hey, that's a whew.
Amazing to hear. I appreciate
Oh,
the feedback here. It's definitely something that we keep the focus on. Trade the pool at the fivers as well. We're just trying to bring more value to trading in general. For the traders. So I appreciate the feedback. Definitely. Tell us a little bit about the journey within 15 accounts. What did you learn throughout there, and what made you pass on those, or at the end on the 15 accounts?
well, when I started out, like I said, I wanted to be able to trade at minimum the buying power of 100,000. And at the time, your older accounts had a little bit more for so much less seed money. So I was like, fine. Worst case, if I spend as much on my other as much as I spent 15 years ago for one time, that I didn't lose. If it takes me that many accounts. I think for me was where we chase when we're trading. I started to chase initially because I started to dial down from the 160,000 to getting the 50,000s and trying those, and then trying the 25s. Because in my head, I was like, no, I'm going to be a trader. I can do this. I know I can do this, and I have it. What's going on? So my conviction in myself of knowing, no, this is what I'm going to do when I'm 80. This is what I'm going to do from home and then go out and go play and do whatever I'm doing. This is it. So lock in, learn and listen and see what you're missing. And I was only missing entries. I was seeing it and not getting in, or I was getting in like little things I had to tweak. And I think with my former employer, that it's fantastic. The platforms you could use everything. I think when whatever happened in June with my employer and I had a lot of time to just trade, I wasn't going in so hard like, no, I need to make this happen. I was really able to sit back and hone in my patience. Patience killed me for the first 15 accounts, and it's helped me a lot. I'm glad to do this interview today because yesterday was a red day and I hated it. But having that red day, I've had 5 green days, and you got to I
Nice.
look back at the prep for 2026, and that helped me. Like you got to take those losses. Being a successful trader is in 10 out of 10 days. You're fantastic.
Yeah, 100%. And I do love the fact that you mentioned about when you'll be like 80-year old, right? It doesn't mean that we do have a lot of young traders like 20, 25 years old that love to trade and all, but at the end of the day, trading can be developed and be profitable in any age, right? Any type of
Absolutely,
trader, any type of style, and you just need to find your way within that big market, big pool, basically.
absolutely.
Alrighty, so let me do this. I'm gonna share my screen with the guys at home. So for those of you not familiar, every trader gets his own dashboard. The dashboard will show you your stats, the risk parameters, and you can really understand your progress and look at your equity curve. You can also check your achievements and payouts and customize your view, switch between light mode and dark mode. You can go over the accounts that you traded, the community. We have, of course, the Discord here, Academy, the VOD. We have literally tons of hours of just teaching you how to become a better trader in different angles and aspects. Of course, the achievements, if we'll go over it for a second, you can see you pulled out already 3,100. That's great.
Sure.
And being 3 times funded already, so you get the achievements. You can of course download it and share it with your guys, and there is even companies when you can actually print it and they will send it to you like a nice structure to your home, so you can put it on your desk. But besides that, going to your accounts, so trading the funded $200,000, that's basically the new. Let's get the previous one. That will be, you
That's my
already have,
current.
yeah, that's the current one. So you're trading 200. thousand, and you're already up by 6,000. We can see
Yeah,
that.
that I lost 14 yesterday. So
Mm,
I had just moved up my max drawdown.
mm,
So
nice.
I achieved that.
It's
So
amazing.
yeah, it's that's what I mean. Like there's a lot of things I had to change. I tweak. Make sure you look at the rules. Make sure you watch and study the rules. I think when I started out, I didn't expect to. My habits and my strategy was different, so I didn't consider a lot of the rules that were there that I would have to. That would be a threshold for me. But as I grew, my habits and my strategy grew a lot. So it's so changed from where I would have never touched 100 shares of Tesla a year ago.
I,
Now I trade 2 to 300 shares of it
That's
sometimes.
incredible. And I see you doing both long and short, right? Looking at your stats here, you're
Yeah,
doing
it's
41 longs, 21 shorts. So you are active on both angles, both sides, and mostly trading those big names, right? Coin, Tesla, RDBT. What's How do you find your edge there? I mean, are you trying to? Have you ever tried to trade like small caps, maybe, or?
yeah. I have when I started out as my first time trading in 2003 with the firm. The traders that I trained under, they started out with their strategy was look for low volume stocks that trade maybe the volume is under 500,000 share volume days and you can see the buy and sell side and jump on. So that was my initial foundation of learning. Okay, this is how I read in, this is what I'll look at. Look at the candle, I'll see the size, and I could jump in. When I started with Trade the Pool, that strategy helped me with my first couple of trades, and I felt good, like, oh, I haven't lost it. Then that didn't work. So, I was starting to lose. I couldn't see the stock. So I would usually look at news or look at top activity, top losers, top winners the day before or the night prior. And then I would just look at the list, see the stories, the backgrounds of the companies, see how they traded, look through the periods of the week, the month, and then trade them. Once all the small caps didn't work for me in that way, it came from some of the other interviews where I saw traders that it was one person, I think he was trading just Tesla. And I'm like, how the heck did he just like, how is his risk so comfortable? Well, in listening to how he was doing, I started to look at the other companies. I was already in a lot of the techie AI companies, not knowingly. I was just watching how they moved. The thing I like about the 4 or 5 companies I picked, like Reddit, Coin, Hood, it's the movement. So I can see that it might be up 9 points for the day, but it might have moved 20 points for the day. And that's 20 points of movement where I can find that movement in the candles of that momentum. And that's where my strategy has changed. So now I really have to be patient and not look at the first bump and go, yes, because I started to do that. Of late, just like I said, after the oatmeal, I locked in and now my patience is there. And if I miss it, I'm fine with that. And that's where I've had to be comfortable. That if I miss it, hey, I'm all right, good enough.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. And I love the fact that you are focusing on a few of those, because sometimes when you're trading, you got the guys that trade in penny stocks or stocks in play, and that could be changed every day, right? You traded yesterday, you traded a symbol, today you traded something else completely. But when you are focusing, and there are benefits for both sides, but when you are focusing on a few stocks, you get to learn the movement, like the way
Yes.
the pace, the momentum, the manipulation, all the tricks that out there. So I do like the fact that you are focusing yourself, as you mentioned, after the oatmeal. So looking at your dashboard here, I do want to take a second. Maybe that's a little bit advanced for some of you guys. If it's not your first time watching, you will understand it. Maybe if it's brand new for you, it will be a bit more complicated. But basically, as you mentioned, you reach the point when your max loss is zero or minus one. That means that once you made enough profit, what we do, we push the max loss into your initial balance, right? So the account started with $200,000, and now your max loss is basically $6,872. So that's the cushion. And Arbnor and Michael Tarantula talked about it in the videos that we did, the interviews videos, and they explained how they build the buffer, and how even if you have a bad day, or even a few days that go wrong, you can actually build your buffer, and that cushion will protect you from losing the account, basically.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes. And I just was learning that, looking at Discord feeds and excuse me, other traders' feedbacks on how that would how that would take place. That plays a lot with my calculation on taking my payouts and so on. And I never thought of that. I just thought, okay, yeah, great. Now I hit this. Now I hit the next target, 220. Boom. I'll look for, I'll take out here and there what I need. But now there's a little bit more technical ways of sizing this up. Some people look at it as a negative and think, oh, well, I used to have 8,000 to draw down, but it's an achievement. That means now I kind of am playing with my earned monies, and that's the achievement you want to reach. It's you try to get to this point to where, as they said in the Prep 2026, I forget the trader's name, and I apologize, but he's right. There's 4 stages. And for a long time, I was a loser trader. And you spend your time then surviving. So
yeah,
the surviving part is where you have that good cushion. You want to get to that part where you're either, consistent lunchtime or absolutely a striving trader. And that's what we all look to be.
yeah. That's incredible, Ron. I couldn't say it better myself. I mean, the fact that you understand that certain rule. A lot of the times at the beginning, you think even a daily pause, right? You would think that it might be a limitation for you, but once you understand how to work with it, and the fact that it helps you to protect your account, you do this shift, and then you become a better trader. And this is something that literally 100% of our traders told me, that those risk parameters will actually make you a better trader.
Yes. Yeah, because once I saw that, it actually adjusted me to, you know, curtail my risk a little bit to make it comfortable. And then when my buffer goes up, then I'll be fine shorting or going long on 400 of Tesla and taking that buff. But right now, maybe I'll do 100, or maybe I'll shift in and look at what CoreWeave's doing because I know it's up. So maybe I'll look to see if where is it going to hit its peak, or what's the market's doing, that no matter how good the news is, I can get on the short. So it's all, you really just, you size in and you lock into how have you been making your oatmeal? How did you get here? Don't lose sight of that. I can't lose sight of the fact that I'm close to getting my target. I don't want to lose sight of, oh, I'm close to my buffer. You want to be comfortable and just keep your habits. And that's probably the hardest part, is holding on to your habits and recalling them.
100%, 100%. Ron, thanks so much for coming, buddy. I appreciate everything that you shared. And for those of you who want to check us out, go
Thank
to
you.
tradethepool.com. Appreciate it too. And best of luck. Maybe we'll do another interview later on once you reach the next payout. That could be great as well.
Hey, I'm looking forward to it. I have another eval I just did. So to fund it, another payout coming. And good luck to all the traders out there. New ones, come on board. The pool is great.
That's amazing. Alrighty. Thanks so much, Ron. Take care, everybody. We'll see you on the next video.
You got it, buddy.
Thanks.